Good evening. Welcome to an evening with Deda 2.0. So briefly, let us recap on what we did the first time. Um, the theme there was, if I perish, I perish, basically. That was what we talked about. Not that you are going to die or anything, but we're talking about the story of Esther, basically, and how when she altered that statement, one of the things we said is, when you discover purpose, it is one thing you tell yourself, if I perish, I perish. I'm still going to do this thing. Whether I make money out of it, whether I don't make money out of it, it is what it is. I'm still going to do it. And that is when Jesus said, "It's been consumed by the zeal of the Father's house." When you've been consumed totally by a zeal that you can't explain, and you just look, this course, this thing, I'm going to do it because was it Isaiah that says, like fire shut up in my bones? It's like fire, like you can't just, until you're baptized into, and that's the definition of purpose. But you found out one thing. You're like, look, I'm going to do this, irrespective. Whether I'm educated, when I'm not educated, whether I have money, when I don't have money, I'm still going to do it. And that was one of the things we spoke about. There were a lot of questions that people had that, by the grace of God, we answered. Amen. I say we because it wasn't only me that answered it. Everybody, not only. Everyone, contributed one way or the other. So basically, we're going to be doing two sessions, which is, so first of all, let me just talk about an evening with Deda. So Deda is not my name. Deda is a brand. A lot of you, like, my name is Deda Akinola, but Deda is a brand name, and the brand name represents dunum in your potentials. Basically, dunum is an acronym for discover, understand, nurture, utilize, and maximize. That is what the brand represents. So an evening Deda is an evening whereby we talk about all these things and we find ways in maximizing our potentials. I'll have to add that this is a monthly meeting, which I pray is going to continue, but we're not just going to end it here. There is a big plan. So I know we were around for 15, 16 last year. Last year was the first edition. So 15, 16 is coming. This is like a build-up towards that. And there's a plan, a strategy. Because by the time we're doing 15, 16 conference, which the conference also is aimed at developing your potentials, basically, but in a different way. Because by the end of this year, everyone has attended an evening with Deda at least twice, and you've come for the conference. There's no way come on. By the end of this year, you should be. That's my prayer. That is my hope. That is God's word. You should be your space and doing something with what God has called you to do. So the conference is going to be big this year. I'm really thinking of. So the whole idea of the conference is having different tribes, and this year is going to be different because we're going to have more tribes. We're going to have, because I realize a lot of people are interested in technology. So we're going to have someone. We're going to bring a tech guru, and the person is going to mentor. It's going to build a tribe around people interested in tech. Creative, I'm already thinking of someone. I'm not going to mention the person's name. So the whole idea is, this is a build-up towards that. So by the time you've done some things called DIY, do it yourself, to a certain level, that you meet people of like minds, that you're in the same tribes, and you do things together, and you realize that there is no way, no how they're going to get to the next level of fulfillment. So that's the big picture of an evening with Deda. We're going to be talking about something different. So they say work-life balance. Today we'll be doing job-work balance. Now time for question and answers. Sorry. Job-work balance. So I tried checking the definition of what a job is. Basically, a job is a regular work that a person does to earn money. So if you're not earning money for what you're doing, you don't actually have a job yet. You're just working, you don't have a job. Do you understand? Okay. So a work is an activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or results. So, there is this challenge we have in Nigeria, especially when you're out of school and you're trying to figure out things out. Should I follow passion? Should I follow this? Or should I do something that, let me just get paid and just get it over with? You hear motivational speakers tell you that, no, go after what you love and all that. I'm not going to tell you that. How are you going to eat? What are you going to use to feed yourself? Yes, to be very honest, it's actually difficult to chase passion and talent in Nigeria. I mean, it's very difficult. A lot of people tell you have to choose one between the two. But I'm not here to tell you have to choose one between the two. I'm here to tell you have to choose both. And we're going to dissect it. But the problem there is, how do you balance the two? So I remember when I like using myself as an example. I mean, this one that is just moving around to me, I don't understand. So there is, I remember when I resigned from my job in Lagos, Ikeja Electric, and I went into a year of, God, what's happening? And it was the explanation I got. So it sounds cliche, God asked me to resign. Yeah, that story I'll tell you later. But God asked me to resign. And I resigned. And I suffered. Amen. Anyways. But I kept on asking why. Why would you ask me to leave something that you gave me in the first place? What's the reason? You gave me this job. You're not asking me to leave it. So the problem wasn't the job. The problem was I majored on the minor. And I minored on the major. So the problem wasn't that I had a job that was paid. The problem was that I had a job that was paying me well and I forgot about the work he originally gave me. Okay. So the work I'm trying to define here is my own definition, not dictionary. The work I'm trying to define is the work that God originally gave you. That's to be your purpose and all that. We can go through the scriptures and check. Okay, let's start. What was his job? Not based on the Bible though. Yeah, based on the Bible, based on history. So what was his job? He was a carpenter. I mean, he was a good carpenter. What was his work? The work that God gave him to save, preach around. You know the funny thing is that do the work of his father basically. I think someone's purpose is to do the work of their earthly father here. I can see it. I can't see anything, no. Alright, so that was two things he did, basically. Two things. For Esther was a model. If you want to put it out, she was a model, she was a queen, that was a job and all that. But she realized that, look, my job is beyond this. When she realized that, look, I used to take care of the people of Israel. That was the work God gave her. For Jesus, we didn't really get what happened between when he was 12 years old and when he was 30. We don't understand what happened. But he was doing carpentry work based on history. And you realize that he did the work God gave him to do within 3 years. Just 3 years. So you see a lot of people say, oh, I'm resigning from my job to focus on ministry. They took the cue from Jesus, actually. You see, Paul was a tent maker. Was a tent maker. At a point in time, he had to go back to it so that he was using it as a means of evangelism. That was when he met Aquila and Priscilla, also fellow tent makers, and all that. So, forget about those ones. Let's go back to the beginning. Our forefather, the number one forefather, Adam. What was his job? Basically, all Jean, he was an agriculturist. He had the farm, they take care of animals. But what was the work that God gave him?
Be fruitful and multiply and dominate. To subdue the earth. So why is it that a lot of people say you have to choose between the two? At a point in time in the Anglican diocese, priests were not allowed to. You can't have a job, a 9-to-5 job. You can't have a career until you want to be pastor. It's not done. But thank God for understanding now. Now you have a lot of priests that have their own careers and they're doing other things. They are doing ministry work and all that. So we can go into the Bible and just keep on examples. So we have people that basically your job is something that is either. Now I'm talking about fulfilling job. There are a lot of jobs you get. They're not fulfilling. Don't let us lie. Some jobs you get, you're not even good at it, but you are paid for it. You understand? But ideally, the job that you have is something that you are good at, and they are paying you for it, and they are passionate about it. Yes, something that ideally is okay. I like doing this thing. They're paying me for it. I'm enjoying my life and all that. Then your work is basically the talent, passion, and purpose all joined up together. Now, let me break it down. Can we share the paper? So, there's a concept, a Japanese concept. It's called Ikigai. I mean, you've heard of it before. Ikigai. Please share that around. So I did my research very well. It's a Japanese concept. There's a few copies, and that's for. Okay? So Ikigai is a Japanese concept that means your reason for being. Your reason for being. In Japanese, Aiki, that's Ikigai, in Japanese means life. And Gai describes a value or worth. Your Ikigai is your life's purpose or your bliss. It's what brings you joy and inspires you to get out of bed every day. So, let's talk Bible, let's talk facts, let's talk research, Now, I know that when I give that paper out, everybody just, everybody, okay, let's look up. Everybody's looking at the diagram. We'll explain the diagram. So, the concept of Ikigai is that point where you buy. You're already laughing. Because there's going to be a lot of soul searching today. You're going to be asking yourself a lot of questions. So I'm going to open it on my phone and I'm going to use it to. So you guys have a copy. How many copies do you have there? You ready with your name there? Share one. Give them one, please. Thank you. Okay, let's look at our papers. The first one there is, let's start with. So there are 4 big circles there. There is what you love, what you are good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. So let's first of all check out what you love and what you're good at. So when you combine what you love and what you're good at, they describe it as passion. Can we all see it? Yes. As passion. The next one is profession, which is what you are good at and what you can be paid for. You don't necessarily have to love it. You're just good at it, and they are paying you for it. That's what we call profession. So, ideally, that is actually what you're meant to be your career partner. Like, okay, this is my career path. What you're good at and what you can be paid for. Profession. Vocation is a different ballgame entirely. That is what you can be paid for and what the world needs. Now, let me give you the perfect example for this. A lot of people travel out of the country. They don't get, what they get is not a profession, they get a vocation. So, you can be paid for taking care of old people in abroad. That's what the award needs. You don't like it. You're not necessarily good at it. You're just doing it. You can be paid for it. You're not necessarily passionate about it. You're just, okay, let me just do it just to get money. A lot of people travel out. A lot of people, I met a friend some weeks ago, and the person was in a dilemma because he has a profession in Nigeria. He's building it, he's being paid for it, what he can be paid for, and what he's good at. He had a profession. Now, but the money is not entering like how it's meant to enter. You know how Nigeria is. So, if he travels out, his profession is not solid there. He has to look for a vocation. Something he's not necessarily good at, but something that the world then needs, and something that he can be paid for. So, as you're seated, start asking yourself some questions. Okay, what I'm doing now, is it profession? Is it vocation? Or you're just on a mission. Now let's move on to the next one. A mission is what you love and what the world needs. You love it and the world needs it. You might not be good at it. So you see someone that is, let's say you're passionate about something, or you love something, but you have no idea about it. And like how the world needs it. So you see some people, a lot of rich people sometimes fall into this category and they invest in these things. So they would rather give you the money to go and do what you need to do about it. They don't want to be paid for it. They don't care if they're paid for it. They don't care. All they know is that, the world needs it and they love it. Let's say they love children and they have the money for it, so they invest. They just give the money, they just can't do it. Now, Ikigai is a concept whereby everything comes together. So Ikigai is a position whereby you are in that state of, you are doing what you love, you are good at it, you can be paid for it, and the world needs it. I like quoting Steve Jobs a lot. Steve Jobs said, keep searching until you find it. He was talking about, basically he was talking about Ikigai. Don't settle until you find that space. Now, you can have it expressed in different ways. You can have one single person, can have a profession, can have a mission. It's not necessary that everything is into one. You understand what I'm saying? It's just one thing that you're doing and you experience it. No. You can be doing 3 different things and you experience these things all together. Are you following me? The point I'm trying to make here is, the moment sometimes you're doing something and you are not satisfied with it. You're not just, something is wrong somewhere. The solution, like they say, is not, let me say it in Yoruba. The solution is not to let it go entirely. The solution is not to leave the thing. The solution is to actually find what is missing. What is actually missing. So let's look at it. It says, so I'm going to explain now. If you're doing these things, that's his passion and profession. You're doing what you can be paid for. You are good at it. And you love what you're doing. See what the comment says there. You are satisfied, but you feel useless because you're not doing what the world needs. A lot of people are in that position. You're getting paid for it, you're good at it, and you love doing it. But there is no potential, purpose. You're not actually solving any need. For example, someone working in a tobacco making company and is a marketer, very good at it, he loves marketing, and he's getting paid for it very well. but his value system is not aligning with the company's value system. So he feels a point of, something is wrong somewhere. The solution is not to resign, no. You're getting paid for it. Okay, the next one is where profession and vocation interact. That is what you're good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. So you feel comfortable, but you feel a sense of emptiness because you're not doing what you love. So I'm good at something, I am getting paid for it, and the world needs it. But it's not, I don't necessarily love doing it. You still feel the form of emptiness inside of you. The next one says, that is where, what's it called? Your vocation and your mission meet, which is excitement and complacency, but sense of uncertainty. That means you're doing what you can be paid for, you're doing what the world needs, and you're doing what you love, but you're not good at it. You know why you're uncertain then? You can be replaced at any time. If you're not good at it, one day they will find someone that is really good at it and they will replace you. No matter how much you love what you're doing. You know some people love singing, but they're just terrible at it. They're terrible at it. I mean, idols, Nigerian idols, The Voice is a proof of that. You can see the passion, but it's not there. Sometimes it's even the emotions that moves you. Like, hey, yeah. Do you remember the audition of one small boy that was singing with so much passion? Like, it didn't move me. I won't cry for the guy too, but guy, you don't have it, you don't have it. You get it, you don't get it. Anyways, the last one, which is this one is a very sad one. You are doing what you love, you are good at it, and the world needs it, but you are not getting paid for it. What you did right there? You're full with delight, fullness, but you have no money. That can be very frustrating. That can be really frustrating. The reason why I printed this thing out is so that you can take it over and ask yourself some questions. Where am I falling short? What haven't I figured out yet? Because I believe the journey of purpose, the purpose is a journey. It's a journey. You keep discovering things as you go in. You keep discovering things as you keep on living. And that takes me to the next point that talks about how many of us here have more than one project in our mind? Everybody has. Everybody has. Someone came to meet me in the office, was it last week, and the person was like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. Sometimes it can be confusing. Sometimes the things you want to do are not even aligning. Like there's no connecting point to it. And you're like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? The thing about it is, all these projects, there are some things that you're meant to do that you're actually not meant to make money with it at first. There are some things that look, it is just for money. For example, imagine, I studied engineering and employed as an engineer. I might be a bit good at it, but I can't be the best and they're paying for it, all this, Do I leave it? No. It's paying the bills. I have to find something else that is going to replace. The goal is what? Finding what? Ikigai. That place of fulfillment. That place of, you're experiencing everything at a point. Like, so I used to have this bro when I was in school then. And it was always about, so when he entered, he used to be a dancer. He used to be a dancer, like, he was a good dancer. Very good, he used to join all these dance, he used to dance everywhere, they used to call him, like he entered UI. When he entered UI, physics showed him. So No, the moment he entered here, he said, look, I am not dancing anymore. I'm just going to focus on my books and do this, blah, 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 blah. 100 level, bah! Our CGPA was almost, tsunami almost carried him. You know, it was, for those that didn't go to UI, tsunami is when you want to chase you from UI. Yeah, the fear of tsunami is the beginning of wisdom. Tsunami took him out of UI. So he got to toilet, he came to my room. Like, and the only funny thing, this guy didn't read. He didn't read. No, this guy can't read. He understood things, he was just really, but he wasn't working. Do you know what I told him? I said, look, guy, go back to your dancer. He said, no. I said, look, let me tell you something. You have to create time for everything. I'm not saying dance 24/7. Join a dance group. Go for rehearsals once in a while. Because you know why? That part is going to feed the other side of it. The key is balancing, not choosing one over the other. So, true life story. He went back to dancing and his study started going on. It was like magic. He was like, I did magic. It's not magic. It's just simple. It's psychological. You're feeling satisfied in a particular place. There's a way it feeds off. I used to have a friend who is a basketballer. I used to play basketball. He was the captain of the UI team. He was studying mechanical engineering. Graduated with the first class as the captain of UI basketball team. You know, in those days, they'll tell you to choose one. Me, I'm not telling you to choose one. Because you see someone that is studying law and the person likes to sing. I'm not going to tell you to choose one. Balance it. There is always a way to balance it. Now, for those that have many projects, I'm going to say this. Like I said, some projects you're not meant to make money from. Some projects you're meant to partner with someone to do it. You need to start identifying these things and stop stressing your head and asking yourself, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that one? Calm down. Calm down. Well, there is a time for everything. You have to put that into consideration. There's a time to change some things. There's a time to lay low on some things. There's a time for everything. So the first question you should be asking God is, okay, I have all these ideas. So am I to chase it now? But you don't just stop there. You're asking, how do I go about it? Some missions in your life, some project that you have in your head, let me cause a bubble. You're not going to do it. God has not called you to do it. God has just called you to write it down. Then whoever comes to read it will run with it. Are you following me? So it's some you're meant to hand over to your children. Should I give you an example? David had the vision to build. He was so passionate about it. I remember when someone was talking about, someone was like, can we just, that's it. Because he was trying to dramatize it, like, David was like, kilo too cool, listen to me, tempo, I reviewed it, he was passionate, it's like, and God has to tell Nathan, can't tell him before he starts building it that it's not meant for him. It's for you. That was the day I was coming back home. I'm the guy that has plenty of things in my head. Like, I saw you post to us, you know where you put many tabs on Google Chrome. Most talented Nigerian, 10. You know, you have everything. And I was working I was in Lagos, and I was thinking about this, and then your Holy just stood straight one. What do you go do that one? It's for your child. Just make sure you understand it and make it plain. I believe there are some gifts that you have, there are some things that you have, some projects that you have, they are service to God. You're not meant to profit from it. You try to profit from it, you fail at it. These are the questions that we need answers to. So you ask yourself, which one am I meant to profit from? I have so many skills. Which of the skills am I meant to use? What do I build my brand on? What do I build my profession? Some passion will fade away. It will fade. It's true.
Some of your passion have not been founded yet because someone is delaying you. Let me explain. Imagine some things were not, if some things were not, what's it called now, innovated or created, a lot of tech guys will be out of business. A lot of tech guys will be out of business. Some things, you don't understand it yet. You know why? It's a question of timing also. Someone needs to innovate something for it to make sense. You're waiting on someone to innovate something for it to make sense. So that you can find that expression. Now, a lot of questions, Abi. I think it's high time that all the projects that you have in your head, I do this regularly. I write all of them down one by one. I write all of them down. Which one is my career path? Which one am I meant to? You understand? Which one is a service to God? Which one is? Basically, just look at that, the graph I gave to you. Some of the things that you're meant to do are just basically, some are vocations, some are what? I'm listening. Some are professions, some are passions, some are missions. You can have the 2-in-1 or you can have 3-in-1. Everybody's unique in their own specific ways. But it's high time we start understanding it. And if you don't want to understand it, just, like I always say, tell sometimes these people, like what Oprah said on the interview. So the moment you start feeling unease for what you are doing, just know that there is something needs to change. Make sure you change. Make sure something changes. Make sure something changes. It's either you add to what you are doing, or you leave what you are doing and go do something else. But something has to change. A lot of people coming to you and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm not happy. I'm not, my work life now. The work career is not making sense. It's not, I've been in a position of being frustrated at doing something that I am not meant to. Look, okay, let me just break it down. I'm passionate about music. Really passionate. I sing in church and all that. When I realized I could sing, I was writing lyrics, I was writing songs. I was like, yeah. It's time to go into music. I mean, come on. Don't bad about me, whiskey or something, I was doing my A-levels then, my Cambridge A-levels then. I went to, instead of me reading, I was going to studio. Chasing shadow that will not be. I went to, I went to studio, then I got in contact with this record label. That was a question mark. A lot of people don't know question mark. You don't know. It was question mark. They're the first record label that signed Asha. They're the first record. So, they told me to go and record demo. Talent. It was chasing after Asha. Nothing was just working. Nothing. When by the time Cambridge hold me for neck, I failed the first time, I did it again the second time. I passed. Don't stop looking at me, I'm not that dumb. I passed the second time, and I entered UI and all that. But I was still a part of me that still loved music. But I just see there's a time for everything. Now I do music business consultancy. I don't sadly, I can't sing. I can't sing, but come on. And I get paid for it from that, every now and then. It doesn't come every month, but when it comes, it comes. You consult for artists, consult for record labels, because that passion, I decided to channel it into something else. Understanding the music business and understanding artists, understanding talent management, artist management and all that. So I do that by the side. That's one of my side hustles. So I remember saying it in the last meeting when I was coming to Ibadan. Okay, come back to Ibadan. Okay, I understand. But the question I'm asking you, God, is what am I going to do that's going to make me money? That's the question. And he said, your voice. And I went into voiceover. And that's it. So you can't come to meet me and say you want to do voiceover. I say, I don't have money. I'm not going to do it for you. Unless maybe I just like you. I just want to. It's business. That one is strictly business for me. There is no, I can do voiceover for anything. I can do it for anything. As long as they are paying me the money, I will do it. It's not my job, I will do it. You understand? But some other things, I consider something sacred, but I can't just do it. Whether you're paying me $1,000, man, think $1,000, that's much. But when we get to that bridge, we cross it. Marie, I'm here to actually push you to ask more questions, not to even answer some questions. Start understanding some things. While I was praying earlier, I was like, look, God, the spirit I once manifested here is the spirit of understanding, the spirit of knowledge. Yeah, we're getting to that point. We're getting to that point. I mean, we're going to share a lot of things. That's one of the parts I'm even waiting for, actually. That's the most interesting part. So, now, before I round up, before we start sharing things, experiences, or you start asking questions, oh, I do this, I don't know how to go about it. This is a safe space, don't worry. You'll stop the recording when we start asking questions. Right? Right? Okay. So, while preparing for this today, I feel that this one is for someone here. So you've been trying to understand purpose. And I was reading the story of Moses. And in Exodus chapter 3, 2 to 4, this is for someone especially. The Bible says that Moses was tendering to his father-in-law's whatever. And he saw a bush burning. What did he do? He went there. And the Bible said, carry that scripture very well. And the Bible said, and when God saw that he was coming, when God saw that was when God spoke. That was when God spoke. So imagine if Moses didn't go through the burning bush. Maybe God would have tried to reach him some other way. Imagine if he still didn't go through, he didn't pay attention to it. And I got to understand something, which is the question of purpose. This was on the sign I got. There is something that has happened in your life that is mysterious, that you can't understand. How do I explain it? So I dream a lot, right from when I was young. So, be plenty for the Abbey. It is what it is. And so there was a day I had a dream that a family member died. And some weeks after, my uncle died. There was this period of dealing with guilt. I killed my uncle. Why did I pray? I was still a teenager then. By the way, I didn't kill my uncle. Okay. I'm over it, please don't take me back there. But it was then I started paying attention to, okay, what's this mysterious thing happening? What am I seeing? And I started paying attention to my dreams. And that's when God started speaking to me. Clearly. You want to understand purpose. There is something mysterious that has happened to you in the past. The key is to actually pay attention to it. I mean, what's it called? The story of Moses. It's just a burning bush, Abi. Was there ever anything burning bush again? Sometimes the mysterious event that happened in your life that you can't explain is a way of God calling you into something deeper. A dream, an instance, something happened that you can't explain. You can't just figure it out. So you've been asking, how do I understand purpose? It's simple. Pay attention to that mysterious thing, that mystery thing that has happened to your life. Something you can't explain. The pastor saw you and said, whoa, not all pastors should listen to us. But it's personal. It's personal. I've had of weird, mysterious things. I've heard of a lady that was praying. They were all praying, and she saw herself somewhere else. So I believe that God reaches out to everyone to make them understand purpose. But He reaches out to you in a mysterious way. And that is why He is God. He reaches out to you in a mysterious way. Sometimes we exhibit some giftings that you don't know. Like when you were young, something happened. Maybe you prophesied, you said something and it happened and it just happened. And you realize that thing has stopped. You need to pay attention to it. Most of these mysterious events just happened once, just like it happened to Moses. It happens once. But you need to go back and ask questions and say, okay, God, what's happening? What's in this burning bush? You have to understand what is behind. That's just for someone here or to people, I don't know. You've been asking the question of purpose. That is one way to actually figure what your purpose is. To be loyal, you're laughing. Okay. So, with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you, that you can actually balance it. You can balance everything. So you have 10 projects. You can balance it. You just have to understand time, season. You have to understand which is which. Is it a vocation? Is it a profession? Is it a mission? Is it a passion? Thank you very much.